Hey guys, it's me again. I'm at the park actually, but it's so windy. I'm trying to find a good place where I can make this video without it being affected by the wind, because I know that the wind can actually affect the audio quality of the video, and that is not what I would love to happen. Hi guys, thanks again for tuning into this video. I'm actually at the park. I'm loving the background. It's a little bit windy, but I hope the wind will not affect the quality of this video. But in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience working in a multinational environment. As you know, Qatar is made up of mostly expatriates, people coming from different parts of the world, and it's not strange to find that so many countries or so many cultures, so many communities will be represented in especially very large organizations like the one that I work for. So I work in an organization, as I mentioned before, that has over 4,000 employees, and from the time that I came, which was almost 2 years ago, I'm about to celebrate my 2-year anniversary actually working in Qatar, which is very nice. I can't believe I've survived that long with all the challenges, all the depression, as I mentioned. But I am here and going strong, and I am really grateful for that. So my very first encounter with diversity was from my interview. The first interview was conducted with by an Indian lady, and then the second one was conducted by a Romanian guy, a Romanian gentleman, and his accent was so heavy. So that is one thing, but I could barely hear him properly. In fact, I thought that he was Indian, but when I came here, I found out that he was Romanian, and he actually ended up or happened to be my boss. And what I can say about that very first encounter, which was now with my boss, he has been a very supportive guy, and he's somebody that nurtures and supports people who endeavor to grow career wise. Before I stepped into my position, I came working at the camp. There were some two ladies that had gone ahead of me, and they were all Indians, or both Indians. Actually two, and they were both Indians. And when there was room for them to find better opportunities in other projects, he actually released them. In fact, he's the one who even recommended them for better opportunities. And what I can say about this is that even when I stepped into the position, he did not treat me any different just because I am from Africa. Yeah, so in fact, as soon as I came, the first meeting that I had with him, he told me that he selected me among the other candidates because he thought that I had a lot of potential for growth. And he even told me that he doesn't think that I will be working with him or in his team for much longer, because if there comes a better opportunity in a higher office, then he would definitely recommend me. And he did not fall short of his promise, because 5 months down the line, I was out of there and I went to another team. I joined another team, which was very nice. That was number one. And number two, now when coming to colleagues, the very first colleagues that I worked with, I've worked with a lot of Indians and Nepalese. And also in that first office, I was working with a Kenyan. They were all very, very supportive. And I can say that I have experienced discrimination because of especially color. Because when you talk of diversity, when you talk of especially we people from Africa, maybe working with people who are not used to seeing black people, there could be some sort of racism which can never go unnoticed. But what I can say, from my personal encounter, I have not really encountered racism or discrimination because of my color or because of where I come from, which is Africa, or particularly Kenya. Surprisingly, I know that people have their own different experiences, and I would love to hear that from the comments down below, because I know that some people's experiences are something close to horror stories, and I do have my own kind of horror stories. Like I can't say that it has been smooth all along. I have experienced like sort of I can't say discrimination, but rather attack, and you can't even believe from what source. So 99% of the time has been really nice working in this multinational or multicultural environment, and a few times I have really gone through moments that I really felt low and really felt started second guessing myself and just really looking at myself and asking myself, really, am I this the way like I'm being portrayed to be or being portrayed to look like? And the irony of this all is that this kind of attack and this kind of almost discrimination came from my own countrymen, Kenyans. From these other people, Indians or Nepalis or all of these other people, Filipinas, I have not experienced any kind of attack or discrimination or people making me feel low or making feel a certain type of way about myself. But a few Kenyans actually have contributed to making me feel not so good living in this place. And I'll expound on that in another video. But yeah, so coming back to the office where I'm working now, this is even much more diverse, because as I mentioned at the camp, it was just mostly I was working with the Indians and Nepalis and just a few Kenyans. But now the office that I'm working in right now, it is so diverse. There are Indians, of course, or a few Nepalis, or there are Filipinas, Romanians, one African. Africans, we are not so many. And from this office, it has really been a wonderful experience. I keep moving my hand because today I forgot to carry my tripod stand, so bear with me. So from this office, the experience is that it has been really wonderful. And what I can say, especially there is one Romanian lady that makes me laugh every single day. Every single day she will have a comment. She will comment something about me, and then she'll be like, wow, pink really looks good on your skin. Or she'll be like, maroon also goes well with your skin. Every single day she has to comment about my hair or about my skin type, and it's always just, like almost people who feel like they have to say something good to you. Those really nice people that just have to say something good. When she saw this hairstyle, she was like, you look like somebody in a sci-fi movie, like in the past, like, but actually from the future in the past. Such kinds of comments that are really just funny. But the rest of the people are very supportive. In fact, I am the only black person in my office. The other guy, we were two, but the other guy moved to another project and he only comes once a week. But they are so supportive in a way that I don't even notice that my color is different from them. It's just a color, but the way they would interact with me, or the way that I would interact with them, is just like the way that they would interact with any other people. We joke, we laugh, and when it comes to any questions, if they have any questions related to maybe Africa or Kenya, they would always come to me, and I would always like explain to them, like, yeah, this is normal, yeah, this is, especially, of course, they will have so many questions about hair, like, okay, how long does it take for you to make your hair? Do you have to wash your hair every day? Or does it itch? Is it painful? All sorts of questions. I'm sure all of you have encountered all those funny questions about hair that I just laugh away. I don't get offended when anyone asks me about hair. It's just that they want to learn. They don't make any mean comments or say, of course, those who make mean comments is just like a joke, or some also out of ignorance. Because going back to the office, when I was working at the camp, there was one lady that was particularly just really making the funniest comments about hair. Like, you will notice that so many of us, especially African women, we lose hair like around our hairline, you know, we don't have hair around our hairline. And she was like, do you people deliberately like shave your hairline? Like, seriously, have you seen my forehead? Like, I want to have a longer forehead than I already have. Yeah, so she would make comments like these ones, or like, yeah. And one day she was like, oh my god, I can't, why would God do something like this to you? Like, why would God give us such horrible hair that we cannot easily comb or stuff like that? Just like very ignorant comments. But again, just look at people and you understand where they come from, and you just leave them alone. So that. And then actually also just working with the people from other backgrounds, especially Indians, I have gotten used to eating spicy food because Indians like spicy. What are you doing? Yeah, Indians like spicy, so I've gotten used to eating spicy food. I will just feel like, yeah, my mouth is burning and my temperature is rising, but I will still enjoy it, which was not so before. Because me, when I prepare my own food, I will not like spice it up. For us, spice is like adding roiko and all these herbs, but not actually chili or pepe or pepe as the Nigerians call it, or pepper. Yes, also when you talk about cultural diversity, you don't just talk about maybe color, skin color. I've always gotten a chance to enjoy like Nigerian food, like jollof rice. At first I thought that somebody like by accident burnt the rice, because that rice actually smells like smoke. I don't understand how they enjoy it. That is something that I will never get used to. Jollof rice, it actually tastes like burnt rice. And when it was served to me the first time, it was at a kid's birthday. I was like, how comes nobody is complaining that these caterers actually burnt the rice? Everybody was just eating and I couldn't eat. Later on, I came to notice that actually it is a normal thing. They let the rice burn. They let the spices and the rice burn so that the rice can absorb that smell of smoke, which actually is so weird. But I've seen even Indians who actually interact with Nigerians that have gotten used and even love the jollof rice. For me, no, it is still a no. I just like my rice well cooked without any taste of smoke. So yeah, that has been my experience in this multicultural or multinational community. Because before, I only used to encounter, like, to see Nigerians in those Afro cinema movies, but actually I've gotten now used to their way of life. I've gotten used to the way they talk, because when I go to church, then most of the churches here, especially churches for where most black people go, will be run by Nigerians. We don't have so many Kenyan run churches, especially at the religious complex. If we do, then I don't know, but I've been to 2 churches. I've been a member of 2 different churches, and they are all run by Nigerian pastors. And then you will now see that all the junior pastors are also Nigerians. So I've gotten used to their accent. Before, it was really funny and it was something that we could make fun of, but nowadays it's just like, yeah, it's something very, very normal. But what I can say is that I have noticed that Asian people are very, very polite, very respectful. When I was working at the camp, they used to call me ma'am, because I was, when you hold like a kind of a senior position, they will call you ma'am. And then they will not say like ma'am Angela, they will be like Angela ma'am. And if you are a gentleman, then they will say sir. They will say your name first and then sir. What can I say? Like, if, let's say, if somebody is called Peter, then they will say Peter sir, Angela sir, Angela ma'am, Angela ma'am. And then if now it's among or between themselves, they will call you sister. They are so polite, especially Nepalese. Sister or brother. Now it will be sister, brother, and then mom and sir. That is something that I only came to learn here. It only gets weird when a Kenyan calls me mom. Please don't. It sounds weird when these Asians call me mom, Angela mom. Then it's fine. But when a Kenyan, seriously, a Kenyan calls me ma'am, just because maybe they find me in the office and they want me to assist them with something, especially when it's official, just call me by name, because I'm sure something strange. Actually, the strangest thing is that in our company, I am uniquely the only Angela. There has never been another Angela since I came. A company with more than with over 4,000 employees, I am the only Angela. If you say Mary, I think you will have a parade of Marys, Caroline, Lucy, Helen, Grace, but Angela, I am seriously the only Angela. Second year in, nobody is coming in by the name Angela. Like, is Angela not a common name? People, please tell me. But yeah, that has been really interesting. Something that I noticed, that there is no other Angela in the company. Very weird. But okay, what else can I say? Let me just pause. So as I mentioned, I had really horrible encounters with maybe a few Kenyans, very few. I can say only two, and they happened to be my roommates. And I will tell you that horror story for roommates on another video. But what I can say is that I also got to stay with two Filipinas, and they are really nice. I know that maybe some people have a different encounter with Filipinas, but Filipinas are really nice, and they will always. I don't like to cook. I hate cooking. I love cooking, but I am lazy. Honestly, I am very lazy to cook. But when I was staying with Filipinas, they'll be like, once they've cooked, Angela, let's eat. Angela, let's eat. They will almost force you. You can't say no. Like that, yeah, so as I was saying, I've had the nicest encounter with Filipinas, especially those that have been my roommates. They are so nice, and they love to cook, and I hate cooking, which is always a very good match, because oh my god, aeroplanes, they keep flying. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've had just the nicest encounter with the Filipinas, the ones that I've gotten to live with, especially one. Shout out Joanne, if you are watching this video. She has been the best roommate that I've ever had. We never quarreled, we never fought a single day. We stayed together for like, I think, 9 months. We never quarreled a single day. We never argued over a spoon or a broom or anything. And they are very, very clean. They keep the room neat. If you saw our room, at that time it was like a home. It was very nice. I especially actually I was depressed when she left. I was actually depressed when she left, because one, I'm very lazy to cook, and she was always cooking, and she was just like, Angela, let's eat, let's eat. And if I refuse, she will force me, no, eat, we need to finish this, I need to wash the pot, so please finish the rice. Or she will call me and say, I left some rice for you at the pot, and then there is pork. And she used to cook, and that was really, really, really nice. They are generous with their food. From what I have experienced with them, Filipinas, they are very generous with their food. Okay, don't look at me like, okay, I was just eating her food. So for me, I used to buy fruits, and whenever she would serve me food, I would just give her fruits. Yeah, but that is something that I noticed about Filipinas. They love to cook, especially fried foods. Some very unhealthy. They love to eat very unhealthy foods. But then again, these very unhealthy foods are very sweet. So yeah, but they are generous, and they have I know that maybe many people maybe can disagree, but for the ones that I encountered, especially Joanne, let me just say Joanne was just an angel. Being that she came to live with me after I had horrible encounter with roommates, especially Kenyan roommates. She was just like a saint, and yeah, that is what I can say. She was like a saint. Kenyans themselves, or actually also the ones that I've interacted with, are very nice, and they have a sense of community, and they'll always just say hi. Most of them, actually, not all of them, but most Kenyans will say hi when they meet you, and you just stop and talk. Or for me, okay, maybe I also like to keep to myself. Once I get to my accommodation, I will just get locked up, but at least I have one Kenyan housemate that I talk to most of the time, especially when we meet in the kitchen or when in the living room. And we also, like in our villa we stay, we have Indians. Right now I think we have Indians, we have Sri Lankans, and also we have Kenyans. We also had Nepalese before, and they were all just very nice people. All these people that when you meet in the kitchen, they will just like, oh yeah, I cook this, would you like to taste it? So I tasted so many cuisines, some that I cannot even pronounce the name, but all very, very, very nice. So for me, it has been a wonderful experience. Of course, I've gotten to learn a lot from so many people, from so many cultures, and I am not the same as I came. I've gotten to understand people in a different way, and to just learn to interact, or to learn to relate with people from different walks of life. It has been a very wonderful experience, and no regrets at all. I thank God for the opportunity that He gave me to work in this kind of environment. And I would like to hear your own experiences, guys, what you have encountered. And I know that maybe for some of you it may not be positive, depending on the companies that you work with. I have not mentioned Arabs, but I do work with a few, like 2 ladies, maybe one from no, 3, I think. One from Tunisia, and the other one from where is this country? Palestine? Or where? Gaza. Actually, yeah, one is from Gaza, and then 2 from Tunisia. But everyone in my office is so nice. I don't know, I can't say it's very, everybody is so professional, everybody is so nice. Hakuna mtu yote mwenye atakuonesha madharau. Like when somebody needs your assistance, they will ask nicely. But before I even wind up, I will also say that when it comes to working in a multinational community or environment, especially if you are Africans, especially if you're an African, you know, maybe some of us being black people, we have this kind of victim mentality. So that maybe if somebody makes a comment or asks you to do something, you always go on the defensive side and be like, are you saying that because I'm black? Are you saying that, or are you asking me to do that because I'm black? So if also the way we carry ourselves and the way we interact with people is the exact same way that they will treat us. So for me, I will just say that I have not been treated any bad with anyone, and I have not treated anyone badly. I've also not like felt like a victim, or felt like marginalized, or felt like nothing. I've just felt normal. I've felt even better than maybe when I was working with people only from my own community. I've gotten to grow. I've gotten to just become a better person. I've gotten to become politer. Because maybe if you notice from my comments, like when I answer somebody's comments, especially in the comment section, I will always just like say, oh, I'm sorry dear, thank you dear. I have come to learn to speak like this, because that is how people speak to me. We're like, oh, thanks dear, hi dear, please dear. Like dear is a common word in our office. Like if somebody wants to say something, they will always just refer to you as dear, dear, dear. And I will also just come to learn to be very polite, and to, when I speak to people, whether they are Kenyans, whoever they are, when they come to seek my assistance in any kind of way, I will always just find myself using the word dear. So you see, I have grown. And this I have learned from, especially all these people that I work with, because they have been very polite and very nice. I've also just developed, or it has become a part of me to be polite and to be nicer, to be politer. Not like I was not polite before, but to be more polite and to be nicer to other people, and to be more understanding, and to be patient. Before I was before I joined before I was just interacting with papers, and I would look at people coming and being very crazy and very impolite, and yet somebody would just stay calm and just be like, okay, listen dear, and they were like, oh my god, I don't understand how they do it, until I stepped into their shoes, and it naturally came that I also just learned to be polite, and learned to be understanding, and learned to just know how to make people calm down, even when they are so worked up and so angry, because things are not going the way they would have wanted to. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It is my lunch break, and I have been babbling and babbling and babbling, but I would like to hear your own experiences. Even if it is a horror story, put it down below. Let me know your own experience working in a multinational environment, and which kinds of nationalities are you working with. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you on another video. Bye.